probably have no business recording today. It has been a week for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into because this is my happy place and I just want to hang out with you all. I don't have long. Gosh, I should have silenced notifications. I don't have long because there is something sort of going on right now. So we'll see if I even get to finish this. I attempted to vlog for my 40th birthday. I mean, like, I guess I did, but I didn't get a lot of footage. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might just use it as, like, stock footage to practice on my video editing software. But maybe I'll capture a few more things during the month of February if things calm down a little bit and give you guys some of that content. Because I know I like watching people's vlogs. I mean, I know most of us just live regular lives, but some of us do some really neat stuff that we get to show off. So let's just get into it. We'll see how good this episode is. Like I said, I'm actually doing this to make me feel better right now. And we'll see how that works out for you all. But we're going to do it. I'm just going to get up my show notes. Luckily, I took show notes. I think I wrote them down like last week so that I was kind of prepared for when I actually did sit down. It'll take me a little while to get links and stuff. Or maybe I've already done that. I have no idea. That should tell you what kind of a week it's been. But the birthday was great. We'll get into all of that later. But for now, let's just get started. My name is Jessica, also known as Biscuit. I have lots of nicknames. If you come up with a new one, just let me know. And we are here to talk about knitting today. I live in Virginia with my cat Ophelia and hang out with, well, most of my brothers live here. Another one just moved to California and my mom's here. And so are some of my other family members and my boyfriend Nate. Ophelia is hanging out on the couch right now. I would span around the room towards her, but I've got laundry hanging up to dry everywhere and I'm not, I'm sure you guys don't want to see that. But let's get started. So, FOs. I think the last time I was still working on these, but I did finish my leg warmers and I put notes on Ravelry as far as the needle size. I think I even put my gauge in there and how long I did the cuffs, like how many rows. I did 10 rows per color. Just used some scraps that I had lying around. I'm trying really hard to stick to a very, not super strict. I can still have fun this year, obviously, but just trying to save up some money and spend less for, you know, a lot of reasons. Investing in my future me, I guess you could say. So I'm trying to use up all the yarn that I have because I have an obscene amount of yarn. But what I did was I went one needle size down. You'll have to go to the Ravelry page that's linked below to see. But I used one size down from what I used for this part of the main part of the leg warmer. But I didn't switch to the smaller needle. My oven's ready. I didn't switch to the smaller needle in the top cuff. First it was an accident, and then I thought about it and I said, you know, that might actually make more sense because our calves do get larger when you get to the top of the calf muscle. So I figured, what the hell? I am just going to keep the larger needle, I don't remember which way, on one end of it because that way maybe it'll stay in place and not be too tight. So I've tried them on. I haven't officially worn them because at first I was waiting to podcast and then it's just the weather's been kind of weird. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's not. So I haven't had a chance to wear them yet, but those are done. So there you go. FO number 1. I'm gonna just stick those right there. FO number 2, I did show this off in my vlog. I think it was like one of the only times I got my face on video during it. But I did wear this, is that the right side of the, yeah, that's the right side. I did wear this for the night of my 40th birthday. It It was a little chilly that night on February 1st. So I did wear it to the restaurant, wrapped up in it. Wore it most of that day, actually. And then lost it because it was in my pile of FOs to show you all. See, I started running out of yarn, so I picked another one of the colors in there to wrap it up, or finish it up. I think I said in the last one, and I won't get too much into it, it is definitely a process knit, or at least it was for me, instead of a finished product knit, in that, in my opinion, you really need to enjoy the process of knitting it. If you just want the finished product, there are a lot of short rows in it, and it's just not, it wasn't a super quick knit, but I loved it all the same. So I'm really enjoying that. I need to get some good finished object photos. Who knows when that'll ever happen, but that is FO number 2. Yeah, and I don't know if I said this. I probably did, and I'm repeating myself, but this will not be a very long episode. Oh man, look at that. See how long that stays in place. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Works in progress. I have my muscle burr around here somewhere. It might be in my work bag. I take it with me if I'm going somewhere where I can just do, you know, mindless knitting, meditative knitting, whatever you want to call it. It's probably grown a couple of inches. I'll show it next time. I'm not going to get up and go find it. But I did start, okay, so I mentioned the cowl that I was going to make for my boyfriend's dad's birthday, which is coming up. So the project I chose probably wasn't the best one for the time frame that I have. But the cowls just weren't working out. And I don't even want to get into all the reasons why. It was like every time I started one, there was a different reason why that one in particular wasn't going to work. So I scrapped the whole cowl idea. Still using the same yarn. I haven't gotten very far. But this is called the father-in-law scarf. It's a free pattern, which means that the knitting chart doesn't match the written instructions, but all you have to do is look at a picture of the scarf and look at the written instructions and know that the written instructions are what you should follow. My only thing that I would have done differently is it has you slip. It has, I think it's at, is it at the beginning? Gosh, I can't remember now. Anyway, I would have done the ends a little bit differently, like an I-cord edge instead of what I've got going on here. But I'm not gonna start over at this point. I think it looks really nice. It's this nice like steely blue. I like the slip stitch pattern, so I'm making him a scarf. I'm still innate. Like I think the last time that I made a scarf was when I first started knitting, because they just take forever. So depending on how things go this weekend with the family stuff going on, I'm just going to work on this and try to make some headway, because I've only got until the 24th to finish it. That's kind of it for my active whips right now. I do have a couple of updates for you. And actually, I don't think I shared this on the last episode. I think I got vlog footage of it. I have decided that I am going to frog my weekender. I just wasn't enjoying the process of it. I didn't like the fabric that it was making with the yarn held together and the needle size that I chose. I'm pretty sure some of the yarn might have been part of, has been damaged by moths. I've since then taking care of that. Oh, and I should be following my notes, because I found it's like Dr. Killigan's. Oh, for God's sakes, this thing just opened. Let's see, what is it called? I know this is exciting content for you right now. I think it's called Dr. Killigan's. I will link it below for you all, but it's like an actual way to get rid of moths. Like mothballs and cedar and all of that don't really work as well as people say that they do. So they're moth traps, but I don't have any moth problems right now, but other people in my building have had issues. So one of these days I'm going to set those up to keep the rest of my yarn from being destroyed. But all that to say is the weekender, I do think it was impacted by the moths, and there are just like a ton of reasons why I was like, you know what, I'm over this. I tried it on. I didn't love the way that it looked. So, whoops. As of right now, I have ripped out the one sleeve I was working on, and I've started like where you attach the shoulder part. You can't really tell. I've ripped out a lot, and it's a process. I am going to reclaim that yarn. It is going to take some time though, because I was holding the yarn double. So there's a little bit of yarn management, but I love the yarn that's in the sweater so much that I think I'm gonna make some sort of poncho or a really big, very simple shawl. We'll see what happens. For now, I'm just taking the time to rip the sweater out. I'm not pulling it out of the project bag because I don't remember where I started, and I don't want to get it all tangled up. Because I've had some tangles, but I have been able to just slowly, methodically, you know, rip that out. With that said, once I get done with this scarf, I actually didn't have as many whips or UFOs that were just sitting in project bags from years long past, which surprised me. I thought I had a lot more. I do have a couple, like one of them I just need to finish the second sock, which I normally don't have second sock syndrome. I usually immediately start on the second one, but I think I got distracted by making like birthday presents and holiday gifts. So I need to find that one because I'm pretty sure when I was reorganizing my yarn, it's probably in one of my bins, and I would like to finish that sock. So there's that. There's a pair of fingerless mitts where I don't know what the cable pattern is, but I know it came from one of my knitting books. So I'm going to find that and eventually finish those. Those are off somewhere in wherever I have some of my project bags. But I pulled out one. I started this a long time ago. This is like my own design, I guess you could say. I had at least a couple more balls of yarn of each color, and I think I have since given that away. And there's something weird with this yarn. Of course, it's in the middle of a row, where it feels like some of it was like, I don't know, snagged, or I'm gonna have to do a tiny bit of yarn surgery. And this is gonna end up being like a triangle shawl. Let's see, that's probably the best I can do right now. This is the wrong side, but I was just playing around with different textures and sort of coming up with a pattern, but not really. I think it was when I thought, hey, maybe I could just design my own shawl, which I think I probably will one day. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do is probably just bind off wherever I am and be done with it. And see, it might just be one of those things where it's like more like a little scarf or whatever. I need to get to the end of this row, whatever the hell it was that I was doing on this row. And then see, because right now it's just a 4x4 rib. So that'll be easy to work out. But yeah, I'm going to get to the end of this row, see how long it really is. This is, we are knitters, like cotton, their cotton, Pima cotton blend, which I actually stopped buying their stuff because they're getting a bit, I remember, yeah, see, here's where like, I don't know, I got to fix that. I don't even know what happened. Maybe the moths got to this too. I'm going to finish it though. I'm going to at least finish it. I can get my needles back because I do love these needles, my Lickas. So yeah, I have enough. I'm going to wrap it up on this row, see how big it is. You know, maybe do a little yarn surgery for the spots where I feel like some of the integrity of the yarn was compromised and it's broken a little bit, and be done with it. I have no idea. I don't remember where I got this bag. It's covered in Supervisor Ophelia's hair because she found my project bag basket in the closet, and she loves sleeping in that. So that's fun. I'm gonna have to lint roll that. But I love this fabric. Look at these chickens. Aren't they cute? I don't know who made this though. There's no tag. I know they made one of the needle cases that I have, but there's no label or anything. I think I got it in Etsy. I don't know, you guys. I don't know where it's from, but I love it. So there's that. So I'll probably, this will be the next thing. Once I finish the scarf, this will be the next thing that I tackle, I do believe. Oh, the kitty's coming over to say hi. You want to be on camera? No, she doesn't. She just wants to sniff the yarn. Another thing that I want to finish is I started a blanket. Oh, my leg's falling asleep. Let me fix that real quick. I started a blanket with, I think it was like my first ever Advent that I got. And I wasn't loving the blanket. I was just kind of like making it up as I go, and I just wasn't loving it. And it has a lot of mistakes in it, which shouldn't matter, but it was just, I don't know, I was over it. And I think I ended up gifting the rest of the yarn to Justine for her granny stripe blanket. Justine of the Skein Yarn Shop, Skein Scoop podcast. And this is how far I got. So not very far. But what I was thinking is taking some of my scraps, making this just a little bit wider, maybe like doubling it or just a little bit more. Because I mean, if I'm holding two strands together, that won't take very long. And then making it like some sort of pillow or something for Ophelia to sleep on. Maybe even putting in just the tiniest bit of catnip in there, because she loves sleeping on her catnip. So check this out. Oh, there she is. Oh, good. You get to watch her take a little bath, mini bath. Cat butt on the screen. The last thing I have to show you, so I have this big basket. I think I got it somewhere at some store in Asheville, North Carolina. And I keep a lot, just bags of scrap yarn in it. I got two of those in there. Oh, and a really nice bowl that I need to take out of here and use for something different. One of my friends, Melanie, made this bowl for me. Isn't it pretty? Moving on. Getting distracted. So I have my own granny stripe blanket. I'm not sure I don't know if I've ever shared a picture of it on Instagram or if I've ever talked to you all about this, but it's fingering weight yarn. And a lot of granny stripe blankets that I see, which are beautiful and everybody should do exactly what they want to do. They're really light in color, they're really bright, which I know I have some neons in here, but I want mine to be a little bit moodier. So I have a lot of dark colors, and then every once in a while I'll pop in like a brighter color there. But I haven't worked on this in a while, but I do really enjoy working on it when I do. I got a Craft Me Not Yarn Company Progress Keeper, just holding on to my little loop here so that, you know, when I put this away, it doesn't start ripping out on its own. But yeah, so this is something I would like to get back to soon. Maybe even if I just do like one row a day or something like that eventually. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Look at this. Look at me. Why do you guys hang out with me? I don't even know. So I want to get back to doing this soon. Oh, cat butt. And I mean, it's not a project where I'm like, I have to finish it, you know, by this date or anything, but it would be nice to have it done by the end of the year. It's just that I chose a fingering weight blanket, and so it is going to take some time to get that done, but I'm really enjoying it. I think the next time I do it though, I'm holding the yarn double or something, because man, this is going to take forever. So that's kind of it on the knitting front. Let's see. Let me double check my very messy notes. Oh, I almost forgot my satellite shawl. Shit, where is that? I don't know where it is. It's probably way over there. And I'm like, I've got UFOs attached to yarn. All right, I'm going to take all this stuff off and I'm going to go grab it. because, and I even have footage of this for the vlog that you all may or may never see, but my satellite shawl is going really well. I was able to, oh my goodness, I was able to fix my brioche mistake. It's fixed, it's not perfect, but you can't see the parts that I didn't fix 100% correctly. So who cares? Okay. I gotta go get my satellite shawl. Be right back. BRB. All right, I'm not putting all of that stuff back on, so I kind of ruined it by not doing this, but I've gotten pretty far. So the last time, check it out. The last time that I showed this, I would have been here, this brioche section, like the start of it. And I was knitting along last week, knit, and all of a sudden I accidentally burped instead of barked. If you do brioche knitting, you know what that means. Although I don't know if everybody says it like that. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. For those of you that don't know, it's basically the brioche knit and the brioche burl. So, and I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna let it go. And then I couldn't, like, I could not see it. I couldn't let it go. And I wasn't very far into the garter stripe section here. So I said, you know what? There are videos out there. Other people in this world fix brioche knitting. I'm going to fix it. And Stephen West has an awesome tutorial. And I highly recommend, if you ever have an issue with your brioche knitting, he can help you fix it in that video. And he's not the only one. There are like a lot of videos out there to fix it. I know that brioche knitting is very intimidating. I would say if you're super nervous about it, use lifelines. You can look that up on YouTube too. There are a lot of tutorials for how to use lifelines. That's one way to do it. And also just looking at different videos, and like while you're knitting, like just really pay attention to the fabric, because I actually changed a little bit from what Andrea Mowry did. And like I said, on the back, like you can tell I didn't fix it perfectly, but I don't care because that's not the part that people are going to see. And so I've now officially gotten the brioche section done, another garter stripe, and another short row section. I will say this is a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to give away what Andrea Mowry tells you to do because that's not right. But what I will tell you is I don't like doing the wrap and turn short rows. So I do German short rows. And let's just say for any pattern, Ophelia's playing with her. Okay, we're done. She has this catnip body pillow. And she loves to like attack it and snuggle with it. Let's see if I can capture her. Are you gonna be able to see her do it? Oh, lovely. All right, well, that's enough of that. I'll decide whether that stays in or not, because that was probably pretty funny to see. I don't even know what you guys could see because of the angle. Oh my gosh, short rows. So instead of doing the wrap and turn, let's say a pattern, any pattern, not this pattern, we're not giving away secret sauce. Let's say a pattern says knit 6 and then wrap and turn. So that means you knit to 6 stitches and you perform the wrap and turn on stitch number 7. What I do instead is I knit 6 stitches, then I knit the 7th stitch, and then I do the German short row where like you flip it around and you pull it over. Look it up on YouTube if you don't know how to do German short rows. Gosh. I personally just think it's a little bit faster and easier to do, and I prefer it. I keep forgetting to look at you. I see you. No, I don't. You see me, I don't see you. All that to say is I have gotten farther on this. This is the whip that I am working on, that my ancient whip pile that I'm trying to get through in between doing other things that are new and fresh. So this is the one right now. Like I said, I have paused everything else until I get this scarf done because it's a scarf. So even though it's DK weight, it's probably not going to take forever, but it does take time. Y'all, if you have knit a scarf, you know what I'm talking about. I have no idea why new knitters are told to start out making a scarf. That is a terrible idea. Make a washcloth. You want to learn how to knit cables? Make a washcloth and use a cable pattern. You want to learn how to use, or you want to learn how to do any new technique? Make a washcloth. Because it also makes it so that like you're casting on and binding off more frequently. Because that was the thing where I remember when I started, I had to constantly, not constantly, but I had to look up videos on how to cast on and bind off quite a bit because I didn't do it very often because I was making friggin' scarves. Good Lord. That was a tangent. I think that's it for my knitting. I'm not really going to do a lot of enabling on here because I am trying to be more mindful and responsible of how I spend my money these days because I have some life goals that I want to meet and I just don't need anything else. And I might be moving in a couple of months, not far. I'm staying where I am. Well, I'm not staying exactly where I am right now, but anyway, and so it's just like the more stuff I buy, that's stuff that I have to pack and da 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 da. Whole point being, I'm probably not going to do like a lot of acquisitions because I'm not going to be buying a lot of stuff. And I also don't want to be someone that influences people to spend money that they don't need to spend. Like, that is your choice. And I think that it's great that some people want to share the things that they get because it's important to support small businesses and all of that, because I still do when it's in the budget. But I have found that there are some podcasts that I don't watch anymore. And I'm not going to name names because people love some of these podcasts. Do your thing. I think it's great if you still enjoy them. But there's just so much in the acquisitions or enabling section. Like, I just can't see that right now because I don't need anything else. Like, I made purchases for my birthday. I got the Delaque needle binder from Skein Yarn Shop. That's pretty much where I spend most of my money. If I'm spending any money on like crafting, it's like tools and stuff that I still technically don't need. But I love the Delaque binder. If it's in your budget or you want to save up for it, I do think it's worth it. If you have more needles than you need, like I do. Just kidding. No shaming. But, you know, and I think I did show that in my vlog video as well. But it's probably, I've got a couple things coming in that I purchased before I decided to go through my budget and create an updated one. So those things will be coming in. Like, I got some bags from Happy Little Yarn and I'm so excited about those. They're going to be so cute. They're going to be so cute. So I'll probably share it in like my Instagram stories for people to see because I do like spreading the word, but you know, you're just not going to see a lot of that here. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. All right. All right. Last time, and someone, Chevis from Chevy Real Stuff, messaged me and she prompted me to go ahead and save the link, and I'll put it in the notes below. But I mentioned that Professor Pearl has a video that is, like, if you don't want to do helical knitting, if it's not your thing, she calls it the it's Professor Pearl's alternative to helical knitting. And I'm going to link that video below because when I make my sweater for my Craft Me Not Yarn Co. yarn, that, oh my gosh, Ophelia is being so cute. Like, I can't even get over it. I'm going to have to wrap this up because she needs cuddles, obviously. Like, let me see if I can show you. She's being so cute. Look how cute she is. She's so cute. Okay. She's like laying on her toys. Oh my gosh. I love that cat so much. So, back to knitting. Whoa, that's really close. Whoa. So, yeah. Professor Pearl. I'm going to link her stuff on there. Life events. Oh, so one of the things, sun's about to be in my eyes, so this isn't going to go on much longer. One of the fiber festivals that I went to last year, it was the Montpelier Fiber Festival here in Virginia. It was a lot of fun. It was a very small yarn festival. Nate found it online. He took me to it. I didn't get much. I got I think I got some DK weight alpaca yarn. And I'm pretty sure, oh, and he bought me some really pretty yarn that's also, I know you're like, okay, great, but where is all of it? It's all stored in bins in my closet. No, I'm not going to get it all out. But I do have pictures and footage from that. And depending on how things go this weekend, I know I've said that a lot, but depending on how things go this weekend, if I have the time, I will insert that footage after this hot mess of a video that I've got going on here. Lord help me, I'll never have anybody watch this again, probably. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, and it's just because my own head's like chaos right now. But that fiber festival was a lot of fun. I can't say that I'm going to be going to any fiber festivals at least for another year or so. I have a lot of trips planned, and I really don't need to spend the money right now on yarn or anything like that. I need to get through the yarn that I've got. But at some point in the future, probably in the next 2 years, you'll see me at a yarn festival. But I don't know. Oh my gosh, the sun. I don't know when that's going to be. So no, I'm not going to Rhinebeck this year. No, I'm probably not going to go to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. But one day I will. As far as books go, I finished House with Good Bones. It was but it actually got more interesting at the end. And I wish that there had been more of the character discovering what was going on in the house. It's about this girl. She's like a bug archaeologist, basically. And one of the digs that she's on is on hold, and she goes and stays with her mom, and her mom is acting like super weird, and the house is kind of haunted. And I just kind of wish that the character had discovered more about what was going on, because I think that it would have given the book a little bit more interesting substance to it. But the ending was actually kind of cool. So I am going to read more T. Kingfisher. That's their pen name. I don't remember what her actual name is. Ursula something. She'll be at RavenCon this year in Richmond, and I want to meet her and see her and get like my Nettle and Bone book signed if she's doing signings, and I'm sure she'll do some sort of talk. So I want to read more of her stuff. I've got 2 more books of hers in my possession that I'll be reading soon, but right now I finished the first book of the middle grade series, Alcatraz middle grade series by Brandon Sanderson. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to start the second. I sort of started the second one already. I'm still reading Rhythm of War. That's Sanderson's 4th book in his epic series. The 5th one comes out this year. I'll be going to that convention later on in December. So that'll be really exciting. I started like 2 different books that I got from the Libby app, which is where you can check out ebooks and audiobooks, and neither one of them stuck with me. One of them was I See You in My Dreams, and y'all, I just couldn't stand the writing. It was just, I just couldn't do it. The writing didn't hit me right. Some people love it, and good for them. I hope they finish it and enjoy it, whatever. There's another one that I checked out, and I'll probably return that one too. Maybe I'm just not in the right mood for it. But the book that I am reading right now is called, with all the other stuff that I'm reading, of course, it's called, oh gosh, I don't want to get this wrong because I just keep calling it the library book, and that's not the name of it. What You Are Looking For is in the Library. I am just a few pages away from finishing this book. I would say in some ways, there have been a couple of things lately in the last week or two that have really changed the way that like my outlook on my life, and I would say even some sort of life-changing things for me, and this book is one of those things. I love this book so much. Each chapter is its own little story about a person that lives within a certain community in Japan, and they all end up going to this community center, meeting with the librarian for suggestions on one particular topic, but then she'll also suggest a book that's completely unrelated, and you sit there and think, and so does the main character, like, why did she suggest this book? And then the character goes through this journey in about a 30-40 page chapter. And it's wonderful. It really, I think it's a good way to like help, like, the characters get a new perspective on their own life and how maybe they can grow as a person while still appreciating what they have. And so that's just been like a really important message that I am taking away from my life right now. And I mean, I would highly recommend it. This book is a treasure. I will read it multiple times in my life for sure. It was a Christmas gift, and I couldn't love it more. So the last thing that I am probably going to mention, because I still haven't finished, I don't know what shows I mentioned the last time I was on here. I'm still watching The Gilded Age. I took a little pause from that because I have a new YouTube obsession. His name is Caleb Hammer, the financial auditor. There are probably certain people in my life that are really, really tired of hearing me talk about this particular channel and individual, but as a former accountant and as someone who is sort of in, like, I find the things that he talks about interesting, and I think that what he's doing for people is really important, because a lot of people don't know how to budget. They don't understand credit cards and debt. The sun is trying to kill me right now, so this has got to end soon because I'm not going to sit like this all day. Besides that new YouTube obsession and my normal knitting podcasts, yeah, watching Gilded Age, and that's an Attack on Titan. I'm still watching that. We're still in season 1. We're in season 9 of the Great British Baking Show. Once that's over, I'm canceling Netflix because that's all that's really on there. That's one where, like, I could see myself buying, if it ever comes out on DVD, buying those on DVD or Blu-ray. But it was called to my attention that even though I made it very clear last time that I was just talking about shows that I was currently watching, it was pointed out to me that one show that I watched, well, I guess it's a show and several movies that I watched last year that had a really big impact on me and is also anime, was Evangelion. I don't even know how to describe it, y'all. Like, I think if you're interested at all in anime, I think you need to go look it up. I will say that I did not watch it on Netflix. I watched the DVDs of the original subbed and dubbed versions of this show and the movies. I have heard that the Netflix version is not great. So take that advice however you want. I think all of the original subbed and dubbed versions are on Amazon Prime, which I don't have anymore, especially after they started wanting to charge an extra $2 to $3 for ad-free. I don't think so. You're already too expensive. So I don't have Amazon Prime anymore. But I know you can find them on there. But it was an incredible show, incredible movies. And one of those things where, like, you could sit down for hours to talk about it afterwards and still not have it all figured out. It's just, I don't know how to describe it, so I'm going to stop trying. But that was probably one of my favorites of the year last year. So now I will get the credit and brownie points that I needed for not mentioning it last time. All right. I think that's going to be it. I need to stop recording on my phone and make sure that I am available if I get any phone calls or text messages today. But I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. If you're able to get some time to yourself, some movement in. I hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, well, go watch somebody else's YouTube channel. Maybe the next one will feel a little less rushed and a little bit more organized. Have a great weekend, week, whatever, morning, evening, whenever you watch this, and stay safe. Bye.